Okay, this is lesson 51 for Algebra 2. We're going to solve systems of equations by graphing. We talked about systems of equations in Algebra 1. And the big picture here is when we solve by graphing, the big picture is the answer is where the lines cross. The answer is where the lines cross. So if this is your x and y axes and then you have two lines, this is very quick. The answer is right here where the lines cross. You see where they cross? This is the point that they would cross. That would be your answer, okay? That would be your answer. So, the big picture is where the lines cross is where your answer. Where the lines cross is where your answer is. Where's your answer? Turn to your neighbor, tell them where the answer is.
It's where the line crosses.
Okay, so this is Algebra 1 stuff. So this is just a review. We're going to do more advanced topics in the next couple of days. So we're going to do systems with 3 variables. This is Algebra 1 system. So we're going to do solve by graphing. There's other ways to do it without graphing, but that's what we're going to do. So here are the steps. Graph each line accurately with a straight edge. The answer is where the points cross or the lines cross. Sometimes they don't cross, and the answer is no solution. So, all right, so watch me do numbers 1 and 2. Here we go. Number 1. Number 1. So the equations are already in slope-intercept form. So on this first equation, we go to -4. Plot your points. We want to go our slope of -6, 1. Well, if I count to -6, I can't really count that way, so I'm going to go the opposite way. -6 and 1, so it's going to be right there. That's my point. And I use a straight edge, so I'm going to pull out my ID card if I were doing this on my paper or a ruler of some sort, and I would make sure that they neatly go through these 2 points. Okay? So that's the first line. The second line now, got +1, slope is -1, so it's going to go up. Down 1, across 1 here, and so forth. And we have our 2 lines now. Okay, so I need to draw this straight because I wanted to figure out where do they cross. Well, they cross at this coordinate right here. So the answer is this coordinate right here. So you would write, this is the solution, which is -1 up 2. And that's your answer, okay? What this is saying is that this coordinate, if I were to put this into this system, it would make everything true. This is the only part on the whole graph that would make this system true. This is the answer, okay? So that's how you do number 1. Now on number 1, you have to use a straight edge when you do these problems because I saw some of your papers and I see student work. Not everyone's paper is like this, by the way. But I'll see their work that looks like this. And they're like, oh yeah, straight edge. Okay, I could do this good. And then they're like, and you're like, okay, so where do the lines cross? Okay, this is what I see on your papers, and then sometimes the line crosses right in the middle here, okay? So in this particular example, we know it's supposed to cross right here, but it kind of looks like it crosses over here, and it's not necessarily totally wrong, but it just looks messy, and you need to be very precise when you do this kind of problem, so you can't use sloppy work. You have to make sure you use a straight edge so you know exactly where they cross, okay? That's number 1. Number 2. Number 2 looks a little crazy, but don't worry, it's not too bad. Number 2, the first thing I'm going to do is divide both sides by -9 because I want everything to be, I want y to be isolated. So I'm dividing everything by 9. So y is going to be equal to 2 over 9 x plus 3. This one, I'm just going to add 1 to both sides, so y is going to be equal to 2 over 9. 2 over 9x plus 1. Okay? So, I'm going to graph these. using my straight edge. And the next one is going to be positive 1. Plotting a few points, and, oop, that was bad. So I got 2 lines here. Now, where's the answer, class? No solution, right? Do the lines cross anywhere? No, they don't cross, so it's no solution. Okay? So, how do you know that if you weren't to graph this? Well, what's the slope of the first line? What's the slope of the first 2/9, right? What's the slope of the second line? 2/9. Are they the same slope? Yes or no? Yeah, they are the same slope. When we have the same slope, we have parallel lines, okay? So remember in geometry about parallel lines? Yes? Raise your hand if you remember parallel lines in geometry. Okay, you should. Okay? Parallel lines have the same slope, okay? So when you have parallel lines, there's no solution on a system of equations, okay? So, and in geometry, you learned how to, what was the word called? Find the distance between 2 lines. Remember doing that?
No.
You didn't do that? That's such a fun problem. It's easy, too. Okay, anyways, here's the system of equations. So this is Algebra 1 style problem, okay? Still Algebra 1. This is all review. This is to get your prior knowledge back to the forefront, because we're going to go shifting toward this direction. Systems, okay? Now, this is one way to do it. You do not have to graph all the time. You don't have to graph. We're going to learn how to do it by elimination and substitution. But this is just a method that we're focusing on today, which is graphing. Okay? So turn to your neighbor. Tell them, how do we graph it? Number 1, 1's talk about. Number 2, 2's talk about. Ready, set, go. Okay, number 3. Here we go. Number 3. Shh. Number 3. All I want you to do is, the goal of this is really for you to give me the answer, right? So I just want the answer. Use the graph paper on your whiteboards to figure out the answer. And then I want you to give me the coordinates if there is a solution. Okay, go. Okay, so on this example, you had... It's your first line, second line is positive 4. Okay, and that's your point right there, okay? Let's do another one. Number 5, let's see, not 4.
Come on. Oh, no.
Number 5, go.
No.
Number 5 isn't too hard. You just have to move some numbers around. Go. So on this one, number 5 is no solution. Last one. Don't flip out by the numbers. This is Algebra 2 status. You could do this, okay? In case you didn't get number 5.
What's that divide? There's like 3 lines for equal.
It's so much energy that's made. Oh my god, I was like bouncing off the walls.
That's
And
more
now
like.
it's going to crash. Get back in the door.
So, yeah.
Nice roll.
Very patriotic.
Thank you.
No. I'm not graphing.
Nice what?
What is this? Just negative?
They're just computers. There's really nothing to do with them. You can't install anything on them.
There's a will, there's a way.
It's true. You could use your iTunes account, install stuff on it. Then we know.
It's easy to tell you did it, though.
Okay, so we're getting our graphs ready. And I just want the answer, right? We just want to know, where do they cross? That's the question. Where do they cross? Where do they cross?
Or maybe up there. Just a straight edge.
It needs to be perfect, right?
Are you saying mine's not perfect?
Yeah, it's not perfect.
I think it's supposed to be the great one.
You tried? No, that's incorrect. Try again. And it's on warm. My thermostat's on warm. It's on the warmest setting. Yes? Yep. That's what we talked about, right? Yeah. Anyone needing to take the test today? Jessica, you too? Need to stay after class? 5th period today. Please stay. If you need a pass, tell me so I can give you one.
I didn't even say, are you getting grasping?
On this example, this first equation is going to be y is equal to 8 or negative 8/7 x plus 4. This one's going to be y is equal to 2/7 x minus 6. So 8/7, I can't go up. I'm sorry, wrong way. Negative 8/7.
Where do you get minus 6 from?
42 divided
I'm going to subtract 42 first. I did 2 steps at once.
Shouldn't it be positive though?
No, you need to isolate y.
Did you isolate y? I don't think you isolated y. Very good.
Is there something wrong?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did something wrong here. This is not supposed to be here. So that's the point that they share. Okay, so this is the point here. It's 7, negative 4. Yeah, you're just it needs to be straighter, okay? All right, so it really is. It gets a little tricky, but again, this is Algebra 1 stuff. So if you're not getting it, then you need to practice it because it's only going to get harder. This is stuff you should know already. Okay, please pass forward your markers.
I would isolate it y.